Hey, my name is Matiss. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Green Finance, and this is what I do.
Hello dear viewers, I'd like to say that I'm sitting comfortably in this nice area with palms just by the beach. It's pretty good, you know, close to 30 degrees outside. I'm sort of sweating, but it's good because this is basically end of February, beginning of March, while in Europe people are freezing. So I'm feeling quite okay with this. This is kind of a beach resort in Oman. Very nice, and you know, I can't complain about much. So let me just jump right into the topic that I wanted to share. This is going to be very quickly 3 points of let's call it social psychology, which is a tool that is super important and super useful in business and in entrepreneurship, because there are some people that are great with science and they are just like, you know, great kind of geniuses and so on, and then there are some people that use psychology a lot more to get things done. So the more tools you have at your disposal, the better you are. And let me just share what I think for me have been the 3 most useful let's say instruments of persuasion, because at the end of the day a business is really all about persuasion. It's about persuading people to go with your agenda, with your vision, getting people on board. In negotiations, it's a lot about manipulating the other side, and so on and so forth. So let me start with number one. Number one is really common sense point, which is the rule of reciprocity. Yeah, look at these people, they're hanging out, feeling good. The rule of reciprocity is really very simple. It means if you give, you know, you shall be given back. In kind of more basic terms, I mean, it is very important to give favors, to spend or give your time, give content like this, for example, and other things and experiences to other people, because they will be not bound, but they will feel like returning the favor to you. And while you can do it intentionally with the calculation in mind, you can also do it you know, just by being nice. And so for me, I'm trying to do that as much as possible within reason. It's basically you know, like seeding or planting seeds, and you never know how it's gonna come back to you, and it always comes back in a very favorable and positive way, oftentimes when you don't expect it. So that's number one. Number two, that's a bit more complex idea, which is the consistency with self-image. What does it actually mean, consistency with self-image? It's really playing on the most ingrained, the strongest force in psychology, which is, you know, which is self-identity, right? People really tend to do and behave and act in accordance to what their, you know, identity is. Yeah, and so the easiest example or explanation of this is if you sometimes make a public commitment or promise, public meaning that people know about it, then you will want to be very consistent with that promise, because otherwise your identity is threatened. And so this is something I use less towards other people, but more towards myself. So there's this kind of weird twisted notion that you shouldn't speak about your kind of like intentions or goals or ideas and so on and so forth, while I think it's right the opposite. The more you publicly kind of share out and voice out the things you want to achieve, where you want to be, kind of like your ideas, your dreams and vision and so on and so forth, the more people know about it, the more they can help you. But also, if you kind of say openly that you're committing to these things, then you basically have no other choice but to you know, go all the way and make those things happen, right? So that's a very powerful way to, you know, to motivate yourself and get yourself to kind of like do things. That's number two. And the third one, the last one, it's quite simple, and that is the sort of, you call it IKEA rule, which means the more effort and commitment you put into something, the more likely it is, or for sure you will value that thing or that experience much more than if you wouldn't have put in the effort, right? And hence the IKEA analogy, meaning that people are, and it's proven scientifically, all these points are proven scientifically, I didn't come up with them myself. The people that, you know, buy IKEA furniture are most likely to throw out the furniture that they put together themselves than any other furniture, if they have to make a choice of what furniture to get rid of. That's an interesting phenomenon, and that applies to everything, and especially in business. This is what you can use a lot with your co-workers, colleagues, partners, meaning if you can get other people to make the conscious effort and kind of like come up with ideas themselves, then they will be far more committed to such ideas, such projects, such deliverables, than if you would have you know, given these things to them. Yeah. So for example, or another example of this is the HR process. Yeah. So it's always very common to see the superstar companies having extremely tough, lengthy, you know, hard admittance processes where you have to go through a lot of interviews, you know, a big number of kind of like obstacles to get into a company. And the idea is, again, if you remember what the principle is, the more effort you put into something, the more you value it, right? And this is, you know, this makes sense when you look at HR practices, right? You want to make sure that when people want to get into your company, it doesn't come easy, right? Sometimes it could be even artificially difficult, but the point is, the more you fight, put in effort and struggle to achieve something, the more you will appreciate and value it, right? So these are just a few of the principles that are very important when it comes to persuasion. It's a key element in business. If you know more effective persuasion tactics, share those in my YouTube channel. Subscribe, because that will make me happy. And that's pretty much all I wanted to share today. And now you can have a look at these rocks here. Very, very impressive. The beach, some kind of a fountain park for kids. And that's about it. Thanks for watching. Peace out.